Hey everyone, I got a Hobonichi Weeks a couple of months ago and I started using it as soon as I was able to. So, this is my plan with me. It starts on November 25th and I've been using it for the last couple of weeks as a social media planner and I really like it so far. This is super exciting for me because I really wanted to try the Hobonichi again. I first had one in 2019. I tried to use it as an all in one planner to basically plan every aspect of my life, and it didn't really work because it simply wasn't big enough. There wasn't enough space to hold all the different things I wanted to write. So I'm gonna give it another shot. And since I found it so restricting, I thought maybe there's an aspect of my life that doesn't need that much space, but it's still important and I still want to plan. And that for me is social media. So I first saw this idea on Coco Plan's Instagram page. Now, first of all, if you're not following Coco Plans, definitely do so. She has so many amazing ideas, beautiful layouts, so stunning. And she's also the sweetest person that you will ever come across in this community. So when I saw her using the Hobonichi Weeks as a social media planner, she had the series of every day she posted a different notebook in her planner and journal lineup, and it was very helpful. But when she said that she was using this as a social media planner, something clicked, and I was like, I could really see myself doing that. So I adopted that idea. I think I'm using it in a little bit of a different way because I'm kind of hopping back and forth between pages. I'm not really sure if it's exactly the same or not, but it's working out really well so far, and I'll tell you why. Social media is a very vital part of how Sam and I make a living, right? We are able to get our products out there. We're able to connect with everybody in this community and communicate with everyone. But here's the thing, I'm the type of person that likes to take all the time in the world to do something. And it's almost like when you fill up a balloon, the gas in there will take up the space and create the volume that it's given. And that tends to be what social media does in my life. It isn't something that I want to take over, but suddenly it balloons up and takes over my entire week. And that's why I decided to extract it from my main planner and set limits on it with a Hobonichi Weeks. Social media can be such an amazing and powerful tool, but like with anything else, you need to set some boundaries on certain things. And to be honest, I'm still trying to find that balance and figure out what is right for me. And also, it's constantly changing, especially because every season of life, every year of my life seems to change. So I am attempting to figure things out with analog tools as usual. This planning process that you see here is largely unedited. I didn't really want to start from the very beginning of my planner because I wanted that to be off camera. I wanted to relish in that moment by myself. And to be honest, the camera does trip me up a little bit. So I wanted to wet my feet first. So that's why I started in the middle of this first spread here. And I also hop back and forth because I have these blank note pages on the right side. And when I'm planning out a YouTube video, I might be recording one week and then editing the following week. So I'm not actually using one weekly spread at a time. I'm more so using multiple weeks at a time, if that makes sense. The types of goals I set around social media used to be hitting certain follower count milestones or different views, but that is not in my control. And I read somewhere that setting goals that are outside of your control is just setting yourself up for disappointment and failure. So the goals that I set now are more so related to how much I can put out because that is what I can control. So all of these little dots you see on my weeks, those are different posts that I am putting out there. And my goal is to aim for 3 to 4 short form pieces of content per week. I also have this dream goal of putting out one YouTube video a week. That would be so cool and consistent of me, but I have to be more realistic. I think 2 videos a month is more attainable for me. However, I think one day I will be able to get to 1 video a week. I feel like that's always the number that's being pushed out there, and consistency is so beneficial. But yeah, especially during busy times, it's just really not feasible. We just had a Black Friday sale that was so amazing, but we were swamped, and the priority is getting customers' orders out. So I had to take a step back from YouTube and from social media in general. So I guess being flexible is very important because you don't want to burn out. And if other areas in your life start to take over more time and resources, then it's important to have grace and be compassionate to yourself and adjust your goals. That being said, I also have implemented some changes that have allowed me to work smarter, not harder. For example, I switched to Final Cut Pro instead of Premiere, and even though I've been using Premiere as an editing software for like 10 years now, I just feel like Final Cut Pro is so much more intuitive and much faster. I was worried about the sunk cost of investing all this time learning these Premiere Pro tools and tips and tricks, but honestly, sometimes you just gotta admit, hey, this new thing is way faster and more streamlined for my workflow. So I just had to learn a little bit of new skills, which brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. I've been learning how to improve my Canva skills with Maggie Starr's class, Social Media Content Creation in Canva, and it has helped me work smarter, not harder when it comes to posting. I made the intro for this video in a matter of minutes, and it only took a few clicks to make this giveaway post for Instagram. I even made some really fun personal projects using my newfound skills. Personally, I learn best through practice, so I love that Skillshare takes a learn by doing approach where members can create and share a project after completing a class, and they can get feedback from the community. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts across productivity, entrepreneurship, film, photography, graphic design, lettering, and so much more. Skillshare can help you take your career, skills, hobbies, passions, or side hustles to the next level. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Huge thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and so many other videos on this channel. It really helps to keep this channel going. I've got so many classes on my list that I can't wait to take in 2025. The next one on my list is a Final Cut Pro video because I'm new to the program, and I like to schedule that in my planner. So anything that I'm learning about my skills for social media, I will schedule that in. And I also like to put my ideas down as well. So I don't post every single day, but I do like to jot down anything on that day of. If I have an idea that flits into my head, it's so helpful just to write it down. I have a tendency to want to drop everything that I'm working on in order to pursue a new idea, but sometimes it's not the best time to execute that idea. I have other things that I need to finish out, and so writing it down allows me this sense of comfort knowing that it's written down somewhere. I have a record of it. I'm not going to lose that idea forever. So that's also really helpful to have a dedicated social media planner in order to stick those ideas down. So after the first week of experimenting with how I want to color code my posts, I decided to assign different colors for the different types of posts I was doing. The sandstone dot sticker is for more thoughtful pieces. Sometimes I make deeper posts about mental health and why I journal, being mindful. And other times I do have to market some of the products and stickers, announce a sale or something like that, just to keep our business going. Those are really important as well. So I did those in terracotta, and then the red ones are for sponsored posts. And I want to make sure that I meet my deadlines and deliverables on time, so I have to make a note of that in my planner as well. So there's different types of posts that I'm working on, and doing the color coding was a fun way to differentiate them. Also, at a glance, I can see if I'm doing a balance of those things, because I want to provide value and deeper thoughts as well. I don't want to do too much of one thing, because for me, I get tired of doing a lot of the same posts over and over again. I like to mix it up a little bit, and I think that's good for you all as well. I also like to sneak in some encouraging messages to myself every now and then. I do this across all of my planners and notebooks, but the Hobonichi Weeks features these different quotes at the bottom. Some of them are interesting, some of them are very positive and uplifting. And I think when you write positive messages to yourself, it's like really does something for your mindset. And I do think you need a positive mindset to create for social media and also to consume on social media, because there are a lot of metrics to compare yourself to, whether it's numerical, whether it's subjective, and there's a lot of people posting their highlight reels, posting the best of the best that they want to present. And you have to have a positive regard for oneself, and also, better yet, a deep belief in your intrinsic value that cannot be measured by any earthly metric. You're beyond that. That's definitely easier said than done. And I definitely didn't start off on social media with that sort of mindset. And I had to learn all of that over the years. I started in my 20s, now I'm in my 30s, and things are a lot more peaceful up here in my head after kind of realizing that and changing those deep core beliefs about myself. So now I can navigate the internet and social media in a lot more of a resilient place. Another thing that I've processed about social media is how much to actually capture, how much to show to the world, and how much I want to keep private. This was always a tricky area to navigate, but especially after having kids. And I'm getting a little better at it for sure, but it's still something that I want to work through in my planner. So right here, I'm writing my ideas for a holiday journal with me / vlog. And with those private moments, there are things that I definitely have like a hard rule what to show and what not to show. But I still want to show like little glimpses of my life here and there, because not only do I want to kind of record that for myself in a vlog format, those are really fun for me to watch, but then I have to strike a balance with personal internet safety as well. So these are all different things that I have an easier time wrapping my head around if I write it out. And I think having limitations sometimes can seem like it's not creative freedom, but actually it kind of is, because then you don't have the unlimited options to choose from, and then it creates decision fatigue. If I have these parameters and these rules around what I keep private and what I show, I can then work within those parameters, and I feel like it's almost easier to choose what to show in my vlog. So I wrote down a list of what I think would be visually interesting, what can tell the story, and it still fits into our rules for what we keep private in our family. So I also write about what kind of B-roll I want to do, and also the audio, whether or not I want to do a voiceover or just put some background music for the vlog portion. Of course, as you guys know, I have no problem yapping away. So for most of my content that's long form, I do tend to have a voiceover. It's been a very long time since I've done a video without any sort of voiceover. I actually started practicing doing voiceovers for short form content, but they sound very rushed to me. I feel like they're so short. I'm not used to doing concise little voiceovers. It's so funny. I have a lot of trouble with it, but I guess I just have to practice. Just like with any other skill, I feel like I'll get better as time goes on. And also with short form content, I feel like it's so easy to just do a very short video and just stick it out there. But yeah, I just like to experiment with different formats. It keeps it interesting for me. And I feel like with the internet, it's always changing anyway. There's so many different rules and guidelines to what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So I feel like my tendencies to experiment is working in my favor anyway. So I just like to throw whatever out there and see what sticks. So I've been using the weekly layouts and I haven't actually done much with the other sections of this planner. For the monthly layout, I have a pretty solid idea of what I would do. Basically, just see what kind of YouTube video I want to post from a week to week basis. If there's anything that I know I want to plug in on a monthly basis, I would put that in, whether it's short form content or, what have you. But I'm not really sure what to do with the other sections. There's this one page in the beginning that has all 365 days of the year. And I was kind of flip-flopping between tracking how many hours I actually spend on my phone scrolling on social media or like replying to comments and messages, like what is the actual time, or marking down like when I actually posted something. And it can be anything. It could be like an Instagram reel, cross-posting it to TikTok and other short form platforms, or if it's a YouTube video, I use a different color, or even if it's like a thread, which is something that I've been using lately and kind of enjoying. I'm not really sure which one I would find more beneficial for that first page. It's kind of like tracking the habits. To be honest, I never really was able to stick with that sort of thing, but I really want to. I've been filling out these weekly layouts pretty consistently. I mean, it's only 3 weeks in, so I have what you call new planner energy. And I feel like I have that around this time of year whenever I start my new stuff, my new books. It's always like so motivating for me to go and write them because it's a fresh start, it's new. But we'll see how long I can stick with it. I really want to be consistent, just like with all the other things that I have going on. I want to stick with it. So we'll see. There's also a lovely chunk of pages at the back for notes, and I didn't really know what to do with this, but I did write in the table of contents area that I would put ideas, brainstorming, project planning, sponsorships, affiliate programs, and small business exchanges. So basically anything that doesn't fit in the right side of these weekly layouts, I would put in that area. It's very free form. You can do whatever you want. So I actually did the first ever page that I wrote in this planner. I did a brainstorming page on how to use the planner, and it's only half a page, but I feel like this section will be pretty handy whenever I don't know where to put something. I can just stick it in there. So that's pretty awesome. And then there's this other page in the back for 365 days checkoff sheet. I literally just see it right now as I'm doing this voiceover, and I'm thinking maybe I should use that to mark off whether or not I post and then do the time logging thing in the front. So I kind of solved my own problem, but yeah, I'll do both. As time goes on, I will keep you updated on how this planner serves me. I really hope it goes well. I hope I can keep up this new planner energy all throughout the year. And I do have other notebooks in my planner and journal lineup, so more videos coming soon, of course, whenever I can get to them. I still have so many ideas for YouTube videos that I haven't been able to execute yet. It's a good problem to have, for sure. I guess I will mention briefly in passing that I have 3 other traveler's notebooks for my journals and planner lineup. So my standard traveler's notebook that I've been using as my journal for quite a while now, still going to be in that. I am a TN girly for life, and it's just the best kind of journal format for me. So I'm going to be in there. And then I have my main planner, which is also going to be in a standard traveler's notebook. And then I've got a little commonplace book, which is my passport size. So there's a little bit of a switch around with my traveler's notebooks, but they're the same traveler's notebooks that I have. I'm really excited to do a full video on them once I actually set them up, because I feel like I am still in 2024 mode with those. I haven't really shifted over to 2025 yet, which is fine because this is a weird little interim period that we're in. You know, we're kind of still in the end of the year. It's still December, mid-December as of the recording of this video. So we're in limbo right now. And I do not really feel like I'm behind because of that, you know? But as a planner content creator, I guess I am behind as usual. So look forward to that video soon. That's a really important one. So I just wrote down a few things I know for sure are happening in the upcoming week, and then I just fill in things as the week progresses. So I'm not going to actually finish the spread for this video because I am doing a very realistic plan with me. I'm not like making up stuff just to fill up the page for the sake of the video. This is how I tend to use the Hobonichi Weeks, is kind of day by day, hopefully more than that at a time so that I can plan ahead a little bit. Ideally, I want to get to a point where I am able to kind of plug in the whole week's worth of content, and it'll make life a whole lot easier. But for the most part, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. But this planner does help a little bit. All right, so here are the spreads that I did in my planner, plus a little bit of extra as we move on to the following week. I hope you guys had a fun time. I know I sure did. And I hope I clarified everything about my process. You guys know I get a little rambly, and the line from point A to B is usually a whole zigzag and a maze and a workaround there when I talk. So yeah, I hope I can clarify some things in the comments if you have questions about how I use the Hobonichi Weeks or about this planner in general, and I'm sure we can help each other out as well. So until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your holiday season. Happy journaling, happy planning, and I'll see you for my next video. Bye.